Can you have an overplanted tank? Probably. The plants are why I got it. I got some movement there on my screen. Haha. Glare. Boo! Glare. I got into the aquarium hobby because I wanted to learn about aquaculture as a portion of permaculture on a small scale before making mistakes on a big scale. I've learned a lot in this last year that I've been sucked into the hobby, as we all are. And this is my 10-gallon, and it's just gone cray-cray with plants. I'm trimming them, I'm moving them around like a fool. I am adding more. One of the greatest purchases I've bought, which unfortunately is starting, I think, to maybe choke my tank of light, is, let's see if we can get up without too much glare. The pet store had, rather than the bulbs that you can buy and sort of roll the dice on, they had actually already sprouted and growing, what is this called? A pongeniton. It's a bulb plant. And you can see these lovely, lovely, long, flowy leaves that are in the water. They're starting to block some of the plants from underneath of light. So I did trim off a couple of leaves just now and toss it in my worm bin. They'll probably like it. But the shrimp absolutely love this. I love it. It's beautiful. It really, really makes me wish I had a much taller tank because, as you can see, they're all laying across the surface. Whereas the bulb is, are we getting glare? I'm getting glare. I don't know if you're getting glare. But yeah, that's the bulb, and it's doing really well. You can see there's some new shoots coming off, which is why I totally felt okay cutting a couple of the more mature leaves off that got damaged in the interim. Ooh, there's the glare. Sorry about that. So I covered my hand. So yeah, I now no longer have no snails at all in this tank whatsoever. They've all gone on to the happy hunting ground. And I'm starting to get concerned that maybe I don't even have enough shrimp in here to keep up the bio load. This is a 1-year-old tank, so it is very well established. I've changed the filter several times. As you can see kind of right there, I've actually got a new filter in there rather than an HOB. I really like this one. It's got the sponge on either side. You can't see it right there. But it's the air tube kind. But down in the bottom, it's got chambers to hold media. Wow! Focus! Let me get my finger out of the way. There we go. So yeah, it's got bio media in the bottom, which I really, really like. I don't like just simple sponge filters. It just doesn't feel like enough after using media. So yeah, the hornwort, Dustin's fish tanks, thank you, has gone absolutely off the hook. I keep trimming it and cutting it down and shoving it down over into this corner, but it just goes crazy. And the shrimp, as you can see, they just love it. So that's gonna, it needs some maintenance, but it's not going anywhere. I actually put some into other tanks on occasion. I never put plants from other tanks into this one though, because all my other tanks have snails, and I don't want any prolifically breeding snails in here. But the apple snails were fine, but they didn't really breed, so that was happy. Yeah, I've added a new, I think that's a crypt right there, that I was growing immersed in a tub, and it just got so tall that it was starting to bend and crinkle over. I don't know if you can see, there's some curled leaves in there, and that's because it was hitting the lid and curling over, so I thought it was time to give it a happy home. There's Freya being her kitty cat self. That's her shrimp tank. She pets her shrimp all the time. I need to do some pretty fierce culling. As you can see, there's a lot of really poorly colored shrimp in there. But I'm still seeing babies, and they're still happy. I just, I don't know. Is there a such thing as an overplanted tank? I did buy a nearite and checked him in here, but he was dead within 3 days. Don't know why. And I just haven't gotten any more. However, I've got a bit of an issue. I don't know if we can see it here. Anyone who keeps the Süßwassertang or Subwassertang plant, I've got some algae there. I gave it a wipe, but this little ball is got it in there, and it's been in there probably 8 or 9 months, and it's not growing at all. And not only is it not growing, ooh, maybe I should pull back a little, but it's kind of crinkly. It's not all flowy. I've got some in another part of the tank that looks a lot like that and is free to float around, but it's on a portion of the really bad part of the algae wall that I leave up for the babies. So I don't know what's going on with that. It hasn't died. It's not technically melted, I guess, compared to what I put in there originally. But it's certainly not growing, and it is kind of crinkling. Am I blurry? I can't tell. I've got water all over my screen. Maybe that helps a little. So yeah, our little moss ball over here, that's a floating moss ball, but it was interfering with some of the top stuff, so I anchored it to a rock. It's not doing super great. It's got some growth on it. It's not doing super great at all. And that's been in there for a couple months, but I figure that'll pick up because it hasn't completely died. So yeah, heavily planted tank. The shrimp seem happy enough. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. This is my favorite tank, I guess you could say. Probably because it's just got all the shrimp in it. I have shrimp in all the other ones too. Most of the other ones. But this is my first ever in my life. Plenty of cyclops in there. No more planaria. Treated it with no planaria. Fixed it. Beetle nut root. Woo! Or beetle nut, not root. Just the beetle nut itself. Still got some detritus worms, but as you can tell with this many plants in there, it's really difficult to grab back. And even though I got an amazing new one, the seal is crap. So I'm not getting good suction on it. So I'll figure it out. So there's a bit of an update, a little tiny update on that tank. I don't really have the lights on any of the other tanks, so we will save them for later. This is from one of the grody ends, where you can see it's got a buttload of algae in there. So my babies can forage. I like to watch them over here. But you can see right here, that's the stem of the, going into the substrate of the, God, I'm probably just humiliating myself trying, Apongeniton plant right there. And before I actually bought that and put it in, I had planted one of those bulbs you get from the pet store that was a lily. And it actually started sprouting. It was the first one I've gotten that sprouted. It sprouted a bunch, actually. It's got all kinds of really great little leaves. But more than that, it's actually blooming. Look at that. We got some flowers there. A lot of the pollen's been knocked off of this one. The shrimp keep pulling it underwater. I think they're eating the pollen. But you can kind of see, these are the leaves right there. They're very pretty. Oh, there's a shrimp on there. Hey, buddy. Hi, buddy. He needs to be cold. Him and a couple of his friends that just showed up right over there, they need to be cold. Put into one of the other tanks. But they seem to really like floating stuff. Ah, sorry. Pull back a little bit, maybe. Oh, we are pulled back. My water is a little dark. I've put some rooibos tea in here for him, so it is a little discolored. Plus, I've got just a basic hood light and a bulb in it. But they seem to really like this floating stuff. You can kind of see right there I gave them, wow, where is it right there? An oak leaf. I got a piece of almond leaf down in there somewhere, but I try not to give them too much because I like to keep my water harder, just in case I want to put snails back in here. Look at that little guy. He's all he's cleaning the surface. He's so cute. I just love my shrimp. They're such fun little critters to watch, and they really like that new filter with all the grooves and stuff in it. You can find babies hanging out on that quite a bit. The leaves on these are just so massive. They're so long. They're so pretty. I really need to move somewhere that I can get a bigger tank. I don't know what those are. I thought they were pieces of baby tears at first that I had in here from Aquarium Co-op that I got it lush and green, and it's immediately started yelling and not being happy. So I've actually got it in a jar by itself now, but I thought these might have been little pieces of it. It's very duckweed looking, and I don't imagine it is duckweed, but it's doing okay, so I'm going to let those little pieces float around because they seem to like them. Little super highway of scrimp. We love our little guys. Alright, well, I hope you all have a wonderful new year. I know we're already, more than a week in, but Beansie's a busy gal. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I think we need to give our Mary Mo a bit of a squeeze when we do a water change, which we do very few of and very minor. So, I really wish I had a taller tank to accommodate that Apajananaton. Oh, good Lord, I know how it's spelled, but it's so difficult to try to... Oh, look, that's a new addition, too. Just because from Aquarium Co-op, I got a banana plant. He hasn't started pooping roots out yet, but he has gotten 2 new leaves. He showed up with 2 really crummy, weak leaves, and I was a little worried about him because the last banana plant I had, once he lost all his leaves, he was just toast. But this one is sprouting new ones, so I'm pretty pleased about that. You can kind of sort of see the beginning of roots wanting to happen on those tips, and once I put it in there, I just left him as he lay. He can root and grow however he wants to grow. That's a really nutrition-rich corner. It's got a lot of castings, a lot of the snail poop, old snail poop is over in that corner. And the shrimp really like it. The babies really like it. That's why you can kind of see how grody it is a little bit in there. I do pop it to release some of the pockets when I'm doing water changes of unbeneficial gases, which kind of sucks, but I do notice that right down in here, a lot of babies cluster. A great deal of babies cluster. So I kind of leave it alone for them, and like I said, it's kind of hard to gravel back in this thing without messing up the whole hoochie holler. So, all right, there's a little shrimp TV for you guys. Let me know if you think this is totally absurd. I can't put any more tanks up. I can't. I just can't. I have more to put up, but I just can't. I don't have the space, guys. As it is right now, I'm trying to rearrange stuff so I can get rid of things to accommodate more aquarium tanks. How ridicularo is that? Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you coming back and checking in. I know I'm not being super regular with my videos, but I'm working a lot. I've got a lot of hobbies. I'm doing a lot of things. And I just, like I said, Beansie, a busy gal. So, thanks for coming back and checking on us. And we'll see you on the flip side, y'all.